Draw power from the curse in your blood. Harness it.
Don't forget to subscribe, that way you save, and don't forget to check out that other Halloween sale ending at the exact same time with 8 more big games, so be sure to check those chapters.
Gather yourself, Ren. Your greatest foe lies just beyond.
After a few big patches since launch and the latest massive update from Skydance, BEHEMOTH is currently 50% off. Over 1,700 people have rated it 4.57 out of 5 stars, with 90% of the audience giving this 4 or 5 out of 5. Awesome! And the game continues to get better with 2 new modes, starting with the Arena.
Your reckoning approaches.
Test your hand-to-hand combat against waves of enemies, battling day and night across 3 maps. Along the way, you'll collect coins from your fallen foes and trade them for more powerful new golden weapons. With a total of 15 in all, each have unique powers for players to discover and master. But just be careful, because weapons have a habit of breaking at the worst moments in the arena. And with randomized maps and encounters, no 2 arena mode runs will ever be the same. And the second mode is the Behemoth Trials, enabling players to take on any behemoth at any time, or even a series of behemoths if you're feeling lucky. And once you conquer the arena all the way through, you'll unlock Endless Mode, which is the true test of a warrior's strength. The Rites of Wrath update for Skydance's Behemoth is truly the direct result of player feedback and a great reason to revisit the Forsaken Lands if you've already finished the campaign. And if you haven't, there's no better time to pick up Skydance's Behemoth at 50% off. Experience the exclusive extras for this extraordinary sci-fi horror in Alien Rogue Incursion Deluxe Edition, and it's 60% off. 2,200 people have rated it 4.48 out of 5 stars, with 88% giving this 4 or 5 out of 5. And with this Deluxe Edition, you are getting the base game, of course, along with the blue camo weapon skin, the blue camo armor skin, and the digital in-game art book. The fact that it says in-game art book, I am super curious as to whether this is following Metro Awakening's art book, because that one was displayed fully in VR where you walk around a virtual museum. In this game, you are an ex-marine named Zula Hendricks that is sent on a dangerous mission to investigate an SOS from the planet of Purdon, home to a long-defunct mining colony. With her ever-present synth companion Davis-01 for guidance, Zula must infiltrate the infested Gemini Exoplanet Solutions research facility and survive the threat of the most cunning xenomorphs ever encountered using stealth and serious firepower at her disposal. The authentic atmosphere and innovative VR gameplay features will have you get into the action with gameplay that uses your body as the input. Along with true-to-life motions like opening doors and picking up objects, you also have full-body in-game physical presence for holstering and loading weapons, accessing inventory, turning on lights, and much more. And you'll need all that confidence against these xenomorphs who behave just like their cinematic counterparts, actively hunting you throughout locations, crawling through ducts and tunnels, and jumping on and climbing objects within the world. Oh, that sounds truly awesome, and from what I understand, the game has received a few patches now that addressed a lot of the issues that were present at launch, so I do think this game is good to go. And yet another must-have that took me completely by surprise. I highly recommend you get Propagation Paradise Hotel at 70% off. Over 1,300 people have rated it 4.67 out of 5 stars, with 93% giving this 4 or 5 out of 5. And from personal experience, I did just play the game, and I played it all the way through. It took me about 3 or 4 hours to get through the whole thing, but every minute was so much fun. The entire atmosphere, the sound, the graphics, I was actually blown away as to how amazing this looked. That's awesome. Oh, wow. So bizarre. Oh, hey, oh, watch where you're pointing that shit. Oh, that looks so good. Wow. So use that grip and oh, that looks amazing. Oh, look at down the barrel. This really did feel like a next-gen game on the PSVR2. The only negative about this, and it's not spoiling anything, is that the game actually felt too short. Again, only a handful of hours to get through the whole game, but nothing felt repetitive. Nothing felt like I was drudging through, you know, a challenge that didn't need to be there. Essentially, the story is you are trapped inside the Paradise Hotel where a strange illness has turned people into savage creatures. You play as Emily Diaz, and you're desperate to find your sister as you explore dark surroundings, gather resources, and survive terrifying encounters. And yes, I can say from experience, there are a few moments in there I did not expect to get jump scared, so it was very cool. Transport yourself to another realm and help this unique ecosystem in Paper Beast Enhanced Edition, and it's 80% off right now. Over 2,700 people have rated this since the PSVR 1 days, 4.25 out of 5 stars, with 79% giving this 4 or 5 out of 5, but 11% did give this 1 star. And from personal experience on the PSVR 1, what I loved about this is you're thrown into this world, not given any real instruction, and then you just have to play around and figure out your environment, and that's the puzzle. It's just figuring stuff out when you're thrown into the world. And this world is really messed up, really bizarre. As you're seeing here, you can discover these breathtaking landscapes. You're supposed to bond with majestic and intelligent creatures, guide them, confront dangers, and manipulate the environment. And unlike that PSVR 1 version, in the PS5, you are getting smooth locomotion, so no more teleport with that. Again, with that 4K HDR OLED display, every game looks incredible on the PSVR 2, and this cartoon is going to do that justice for sure. This now includes detailed textures and high resolution shadows, along with light shaft effects, extremely precise sand and water physics, and it includes a sandbox mode where the terrain is more expansive with an increased number of creatures and trees that become even more stunning over time. Interesting. You can play the game without your VR headset. I don't know why you would again. And being thrown into this mysterious world, quite literally, you're supposed to help this unique ecosystem and experience an extraordinary adventure. Somewhere in the depths of big data, a new world has been born. A surreal land where life is just as rich and varied as our own Earth. And that's the beauty of it. I just was literally thrown into this game, and you have to figure out what to do with what you see in front of you. Just over 1 month ago, the developers dropped the incredibly massive update called Voyagers, which I'll go over with you in a second, but they've continued to expand with the new features in the most recent free update called Breach in No Man's Sky, and it's 60% off. Over 108,000 people have rated this, 3.99 out of 5 stars, with 74% giving this 4 or 5 out of 5, but 15% did give this 1 star since the disastrous launch back in 2016. This incredible update has been a year in the making and required the developers to overhaul everything in order for these changes to work. I'm going to leave a link in my description for the full patch notes because there's just simply way too much to go over here, but I'll try to summarize the big points real quick. Finally, you can create your own colossal, fully furnished and decorated Corvette-class starship that you assemble from hundreds of ship modules, selecting and arranging every section of hull, every wing and peripheral, every internal corridor and bunk bed, everything. And with this base in space, you can now invite your friends on board to sweep the local opportunities from the mission radar, harvest resources, fight, gather treasure, and much more. You can even now stand up from the pilot's seat at any time without leaving the ship itself and soak in the ambience of your handcrafted home. Or even step directly into the darkness of deep space while floating weightlessly around the hull of your ship. And just in time for the theme of Halloween, the latest free Breach update includes a new timed expedition starting right now that will have players embrace the darker side of the universe towards the ominous and exotic purple star solar system, which players were introduced to back in the World's Part 2 update. Essentially, Breach expands on the recent Voyagers update where you will encounter the abandoned remains of ill-fated Corvette ships. Now you have a reason to step out into zero gravity to explore these hollow hulks and equip your multi-tool laser to dismantle their valuable modules. Then repurpose this scrap to build your dream ship at a Corvette workshop. Very cool. And those remnants include new landing gear, shields, weapons, connectors, and a number of highly requested wedge-shaped modules that enable a huge variety of creative and complicated Corvette builds. And last but definitely not least, all of you PS5 Pro players out there will now see the incredible benefit of PSSR. That's PlayStation Spectral Super Resolution, improving image quality using AI enhanced resolution for ultra high definition and even more incredible detail, which I'm really looking forward to seeing how that plays out because I was already really impressed with the Pro enhancements to begin with. And right now you can get Arizona Sunshine Freddy's Bundle at 40% off. But if you're a PlayStation Plus member, you save 5% more, making it 45% off total. And this bundle simply puts both games together at an even better price for those that don't already own the original on PSVR1. Otherwise, I recommend upgrading the first game for like 10 bucks and then get Arizona Sunshine 2 by itself the next time it goes on sale. And now I'm totally interested in getting this bundle simply because both Arizona Sunshine games on the PSVR2 are now natively compatible with the mind-blowing bHaptics tack suit and tack sleeves. And now after a month of solid use, I can totally recommend getting this incredible tech because you'll now actually feel the impact of an axe chopping a zombie with those tack sleeves while being alerted by feeling your back being clawed from behind. As you react, you'll literally feel your shotgun being unsheathed from your shoulder to the powerful reverberation of the recoil through both arms and having your body feel the jolt at the same time. This is some seriously epic shit. And I just have to speak to this really quick. Arizona Sunshine on the PSVR1. I did experience that co-op mode and I thought it was good. Again, good. That's the best way to describe it. What I didn't realize is that this remake actually offers all of the DLC from the first game. Very cool, man. Being honest, I don't think I played any of the DLC. I just played the original campaign all the way through with my friend and I was kind of done with it after that. So, and of course, they've kept that intact. You can play the original campaign in co-op mode on Arizona Sunshine Remake, as well as the 4-player Horde mode. And I do believe that was already available on the PSVR1, so nothing different there from what I remember. And of course, with Freddy's bundle, you are getting Arizona Sunshine 2. And with over 3,000 people rating it, it scored 4.53 out of 5 stars, with 89% of the audience giving this 4 or 5 out of 5. In a post-apocalyptic world where every bullet counts, experience the thrill of realistic combat as you wield all new and fan-favorite weapons. And what's really kick-ass, man, that I've been waiting to play this game, you can enjoy the full campaign in 2-player co-op mode. As well, you can join up to 3 other players in 4-player co-op Horde mode, and they've already released an abundance of maps for the actual Horde mode, so very cool, man. They put a lot of love and attention to this game and then included all this extra DLC. And what's better than braving the end of the world than surviving it with your new best friend, Buddy? Not only is Buddy your 4-legged companion through thick and thin, he's also the goodest boy and will help take down those pesky Freds for you. And they really put a spotlight on this dog, man. There's even extra skins like an undead doggy and, another breed of dog, the Corgi, altogether, which is really weird but looks really cool. Everyone in the past that's commented on this game whenever it's gone on sale has only said great things about this game, seriously. And again, if you have a friend to play with or friends to play with, only better from what I'm hearing. Don your gas mask, wield handmade weapons, and venture into the depths of this apocalyptic nightmare in Metro Awakening Deluxe Edition. And it's 50% off. Over 2,600 people have rated it 4.43 out of 5 stars, with 85% of the audience giving it 4 or 5 out of 5. And what's really cool is that this is one of the most recent games to get the next-gen native compatibility for the bHaptics Tack Suit Pro and Tack Sleeves. This incredible piece of tech allows you to feel the sensation of holstering on your hips, to having your arms and torso soaking in the recoil of each blast, while also feeling the direction of your enemy's attacks along your body. This level of haptic immersion is insanely awesome. In the year 2028, the survivors of nuclear war cling to the existence in the buried subways of the Moscow Metro, which has become civilization's last refuge and tomb, where spirits haunt the living in this man-made purgatory. You are a doctor searching for your wife as you brave the crippling radiation, darkness, and deadly threats of the Metro, desperately trying to find the medication she needs. As your courage and sanity are pushed to the limit, you must learn to walk the line between life and death, the spiritual and the material world, and awaken the being you must become. And what you're getting with this package, obviously the base game and some goodies, as you're seeing a complete list right here. First, you're getting this VR concept art gallery, which isn't in the traditional two-dimensional flip art style that we've seen in every other video game. This is an actual VR environment that you're walking around and looking at some of the objects. I personally, again, haven't experienced this before, but what I'm seeing here on Reddit, that's exactly what it sounds like. So really cool implementation there. As well, you're getting the Nautilus hide backpack, skeletal gloves, toy charm, and the fallen patch. And from what I understand, this is only cosmetics. There are no actual bonuses for wearing these in-game. I think they're just skins altogether, but again, that has to do with the original Metro games. If you played them before, which I haven't, I can't speak to it. Get some sort of nostalgic flair from that, I'm not too sure. Become the demon in Metal Hellsinger VR, and it's 50% off right now. But if you're a PlayStation Plus member, you save 10% more, making it 60% off total. Almost 220 people have rated it 4.4 out of 5 stars, with 86% of the audience giving it 4 or 5 out of 5. Step into the half-demon body of the unknown and feel the pulse of metal rage through you. Quite simply, shoot to the beat to make the music unfold and your power grow. See the world around you pulsate to the rhythm and be unburdened by a traditional interface. This totally reminds me of Pistol Whip, but unlike Pistol Whip, where you're moving forward at all times, it looks like you're moving around in a full 3D environment here, like a giant arena. And of course, unlike Pistol Whip, where it's more the electronic dance genre, this is all about the death metal, man. The multi-award-winning original soundtrack composer duo, Two Feathers, have created a thunderous original score with vocals by metal icons such as System of a Down, Lamb of God, Arch Enemy, and much more. And as you can see from the list of awards and nominations here, these guys nailed the audio in the music in the gameplay. Amazing. Seriously, I'm gonna have to grab this game as soon as I can. And now that the game's been out for a little while, it does have some DLC that you can grab, and they're all on sale right now. The first one being Metal Hellsinger VR Purgatory. It's currently 25% off, but if you're a PlayStation Plus member, you save 5% more, making it 30% off total. And that Purgatory DLC contains 3 new songs that I'm showing you right here if you want to pause and take a look, as well as new weapons and new cosmetic skins. And the second DLC they're offering is called Metal Hellsinger VR Essential Hits Pack, and it's 25% off, but if you're a PlayStation Plus member, you save 5% more, making it 30% off total. In this Essentials pack, you're seeing a plethora of old school songs that totally took me down memory lane here, and some of them including Gorillaz, Feel Good Inc., and Muse Uprising. And that's what took me by surprise here. You know, some of these songs totally do not fit the death metal genre, but when I'd seen the actual trailer for this game, I was like, wow, that looks like a lot of fun for sure. And the last one they're offering is called Metal Hellsinger VR Dream of the Beast, and it's 25% off. But if you're a PlayStation Plus member, you save 5% more, making it 30% off total. And with this pack, you are getting 2 new songs that I'm showing you right here if you want to pause and take a look, as well as a brand new weapon and 3 outfits with passive effects. Very cool. You know, with all of those awards and nominations, and with that epic campaign, and just knowing that this game is literally Pistol Whip, but totally reinvented in full 3D with that death metal genre, and if all of the content interests you, you can now get the complete edition at 40% off. But if you're a PlayStation Plus member, you save 10% more, making it 50% off total.
Another bat.
Oh, thank you for that.
I got him.
I totally pulled back at the last second.
I got it.
Finally, the highly anticipated 4-player multiplayer patch has arrived in Ancient Dungeon VR, and it's 25% off. But if you're a PlayStation Plus member, you save 5% more, making it 30% off total. Over 600 people rated it 4.71 out of 5 stars, with 94% of the audience giving this 4 or 5 out of 5. And since the latest update, there's now a few more relics, milestones, and journal pages, along with 2 new alternate dungeon floors to explore. And finally, just recently, I was able to play this for the first time ever and discover it with my wife, and would love to totally show you our experience in the video shown here. I'll leave a link in the description if you're interested. And just to speak to this, we've only passed the first floor so far and have spent at least 3 to 4 hours playing total. I can already highly recommend this at full price, and can see this appealing to pretty much everybody, as I've heard about this game for so long now and can only appreciate its awesomeness once inside the game, which is just incredibly immersive, honestly. And this is a procedurally generated underground labyrinth with no way back and only one way to escape. Fight through hordes of different enemies with a variety of upgradable weapons, and improvise using the rich physics-based combat to survive. Right on. No 2 dungeons are the same, which means each run is different from the last. Collect and uncover over 100 different upgrades, such as companion wisps to game changers like exploding throwing knives. Experiment with upgrade combinations to gain unique advantages. Use the environment to gain the upper hand as you battle an array of deadly creatures. Encounter wights, slimes, skeletons, wisps, flying skulls, champion enemies, and more in thrilling melee and ranged combat. Discover the true history of the Ancient Dungeon. Search for long-lost writings and historical records, and reveal hidden secrets throughout deep environmental storytelling. And the original game that put Skydance on the virtual reality map. This is The Walking Dead Saints and Sinners, and it's currently 50% off. Over 3,300 people rated it 4.5 out of 5 stars, with 88% of the audience giving this 4 or 5 out of 5. That said, if you're a PlayStation Plus Premium or Deluxe member, this game is no longer a part of your catalog as of May 20th. So now may be the time to get this at that awesome sale price. However, they are also offering the Tourist Edition on sale at 50% off as well, and this includes a bunch of other things such as the Sheriff, the Judge, and the National Guard knife weapon recipes that are exclusive to the Tourist Edition, as well as some voodoo dolls, which I believe they're just decorations, as I've never used them in the game before. Aside from the immediate difference of that 4K HDR OLED display making everything look stunning, I was really impressed with the tracking, and now being able to accurately use that bow and arrow was so rewarding and satisfying. It really made me play the game with that stealth aspect, which I didn't last time. Now, the Tourist Edition part of the game allows you to continue the campaign story after you've completed it, with the Aftershocks update simply giving you more to do, along with the Meat Grinder update that has you face relentless waves of walkers in the Trial, which is a special mode that allows all the weapons to be unlockable. There's stamina and health boosts, and an arena-style combat survival. And for those of you that have never played this before, you do not need to be a fan of the Walking Dead series, zombies, or even horror games in general. This is an excellent game that demonstrates the awesomeness of VR, having you scavenge resources and food for survival, and using those scraps to craft weapons and food at your trailer. Literally, the game still holds up today, especially on the PSVR2 at that sale price. That said, if you've played it before, I don't think you need to play it again, as I did remember everything, but was just really happy overall seeing the differences with the new PSVR2 tech. And Skydance continues to deliver by listening to the players' feedback, reducing the permanent price of Chapter 2 to reflect that of DLC content, which totally is appropriate here. And now it's currently 50% off. That said, if you're a PlayStation Plus Premium or Deluxe member, this game is no longer a part of your catalog as of May 20th. Over 2,100 people have rated it 4.41 out of 5 stars, with 86% of the audience giving it 4 or 5 out of 5. With this Payback Edition, you are getting some extras such as the Blessing and Fat Tuesday weapon recipes to let you know what to collect in-game so you can craft those unique weapons. As well, it includes the Demon Storage Shelf and some collectible postcards. And of course, after much anticipation and excitement, I was more than happy to get my hands on this after it launched, and I have to report, I was actually really let down. The game is more of the same, which is awesome, don't get me wrong, but because I platinumed the first game, replayed it again on the PSVR 2, Chapter 2 really felt just like DLC for the main game. Seriously. You know, after so much polish from the first game, I was totally disappointed by seeing so many issues throughout Chapter 2. Not game-breaking, thankfully, but immersion-breaking for sure. But for those of you that have never experienced The Walking Dead Saints and Sinners Chapter 1 and 2, you can now get both bundled together at 50% off. And with this bundle, you are getting the Tourist Edition and the Payback Edition with all the goodies listed right here. And the next highly rated puzzle mystery game is The Room VR: A Dark Matter, and it's 50% off. But if you're a PlayStation Plus member, you save 5% more, making it 55% off total. Over 2,100 people have rated this since the PlayStation VR 1 days, 4.78 out of 5 stars, with 96% of the audience giving it 4 or 5 out of 5. And the setting is the British Institute of Archaeology in London, 1908. The disappearance of an esteemed Egyptologist prompts a police investigation into the unknown. Explore cryptic locations, examine fantastic gadgets, and enter an otherworldly space which blurs the line between reality and illusion. Players can inhabit the spine-tingling world of The Room and interact with its strange contraptions in this compelling new chapter. Even though I did play this all the way through on PSVR 1, I have not played it on PSVR 2, so I do not know if I can recommend this at the sale price, to be honest with you, but back in the day, it was absolutely worth it. Inspired by 80s retro horror, this popcorn game is all about survival, thrills, and pure fun in Get Out, and it's 35% off. But if you're a PlayStation Plus member, you save 15% more, making it 50% off total. Only 71 people have rated it so far, 4.2 out of 5 stars, with 81% of the audience giving it 4 or 5 out of 5. And get this, Get Out is one of the most recent games to get the native compatibility for the bHaptics tack suit and tack sleeves that will take the action and fear to a whole new level that I've never experienced before. Be sure to subscribe, as I'll definitely be playing every game possible that works with this FPS bundle, and be sure to check out bHaptics.com, as it's actually on sale right now. In this game, you play as Dean, a patient trapped in a sinister prison-like mental asylum. The walls of this place hide unspeakable secrets and terrifying experiments carried out on lost souls. In this asylum, nightmarish creatures born from inhuman experiments prowl the dark corridors. With your hands restrained by a straitjacket, you must navigate through complex puzzles and deadly challenges. Each solved puzzle brings you closer to the truth about the horrors that lie behind the facility's locked doors. Will you be able to evade the traps of your mind while facing creatures that seem to be reflections of your own fears? The fight for survival is much more than a simple escape. It is a journey through the twists and turns of the human psyche. What's also included is the exclusive DLC Dean's Dream, where you play as a baby who can barely walk and seeks to understand the strange world around him. And the game that started it all. Very Bad Dreams Anniversary Edition is currently 40% off. But if you're a PlayStation Plus member, you save 20% more, making it 60% off total. And from what I understand, both the standard and this Anniversary Edition do include the Dean's Dream DLC, but it's the Anniversary Edition that includes the soundtrack mode. Over 460 people have rated it 3.39 out of 5 stars, with 54% giving this 4 or 5 out of 5, but 20% did give this 1 star. In Very Bad Dreams, you'll need to react instinctively to survive this scary world, which is purely dependent upon your real actions. Feel the PSVR sense and headset haptics immerse you when you've been hit by an enemy or when your heart races for dear life. The unique controls will have you run and jump using real gestures, along with holding your head with both hands to keep you becoming mad. Oh, that sounds like such a cool game mechanic. It claims to have many new gameplay elements that will give you the impression of never doing the same thing. Quite simply, the best thing you can do in this game is to flee and not fall into madness. And the more I hear about this game, the more I hear very positive things about it. That said, if you're still unsure whether or not this is for you, I highly recommend you check out the Very Bad Dreams demo on the PlayStation Store right now. Experience the cult classic horror like never before on the PSVR2 in Five Nights at Freddy's Help Wanted Full-Time Edition, and it's 60% off. Over 15,000 people have rated it 4.55 out of 5 stars, with 88% of the audience giving this 4 or 5 out of 5. That said, if you're a PlayStation Plus Extra, Premium, or Deluxe member, this game is now a part of your catalog. And I did actually buy this on the PSVR 1. You can pay a small upgrade fee instead of paying the sale price here. And I think all it was that I was part of a security staff in this booth looking at these monitors, playing with some controls, and then these animatronics appearing on some of the screens, and then they jump scare you from the side. You know, I just got within a few minutes of it, and I wasn't feeling it, just being honest, right in the beginning after playing so many awesome PSVR 1 games. I had no idea that game, you know, took the franchise to the next level, and then they're making millions of dollars on all this merchandise. So I do know there's a huge cult following behind this game. I personally am not one to speak to it because I didn't give it any time. But for those of you that did love it, again, they did include in this PSVR 2 version, this is the DLC called Curse of Dreadbear, exclusively for the PS5 and PSVR 2. This new edition includes all content from the original Help Wanted plus the Halloween DLC Curse of Dreadbear. And this says it gives you over 50 scary fun minigames in one terrifying package. And of course, you can play the game in VR or non-VR mode. I don't know why you would play this on flat screen after having the VR experience. Swing yourself freely like a monkey in Toss, and it's 40% off. But if you're a PlayStation Plus member, you save 10% more, making it 50% off total. Over 200 people have rated it 4.3 out of 5 stars, with 86% of the audience giving this 4 or 5 out of 5. The whole premise of the game is that you've simply crash landed on a cloud planet and need to collect parts to repair your ship as you launch yourself around 75 plus playground levels in 9 vibrant cloudscape biomes and rank up to become a Toss Master. It touts to be the VR game that uniquely captures agility, timing, and gamer skill required to play the beloved platformer classics. Try to race against the clock with Time Attack, find as many bananas as possible, or master as few grabs as possible each round. You can also compete socially by time and rank, and follow your friend's leaderboard's ghost, just like the Mario Kart time trials. And don't forget, there's modifiers like Zero Gravity and Double Toss by becoming a Toss Master. I've only heard great things about this game whenever it's been on sale, and a few parents now have mentioned that it's a blast to play, passing the headset around with the kids. If you love the Guitar Hero or Rock Band, you'll want to get Drums Rock, and it's 50% off. Over 1,400 people have rated it 4.28 out of 5 stars, with 79% of the audience giving this 4 or 5 out of 5. And if you're unsure whether or not the game is for you, definitely check out that Drums Rock free demo right now. And that's what I did, and I was able to get an actual sense of flavor of what the game felt like, and I was totally impressed with the actual haptics on the controllers as well as the headset haptics. I didn't actually check out the eye tracking for the score, didn't play it enough, but yes, this is sit down, pick up and play, instant action. Aside from the arcade aspect, the game actually does feature a full-fledged 4-hour campaign and then fight 2 bosses along the way. Very cool. Featuring an intuitive third-person view designed especially for VR headsets, Human Fall Flat VR is now 50% off. Over 50,000 people have rated the VR and flat screen versions combined 4.15 out of 5 stars, with 78% giving this 4 or 5 out of 5, but 14% did give this 1 star. Pick a party of up to 4 humans and work together carefully to navigate each level's perilous traps and solve each collection of physics-based puzzles. Now rebuilt for VR, each controller you wield controls the respective arm of your human avatar, adding an unprecedented level of physicality. And apparently, Human Fall Flat is a hilarious, lighthearted physics platformer set in a world of floating dreamscapes. Each dream level provides a new environment to navigate with multiple routes through each level, and perfectly playful puzzles ensure exploration and ingenuity are rewarded. The VR edition of Human Fall Flat includes all levels from the game's original release, along with a wide selection of extra dreams created by some of the most talented community creators. You can also customize your human with a massive selection of outfits to add to your collection, along with head, upper, and lower body style, and even customizable colors. And for those of you that want to have both the VR and the original flat version, you can get the Human Fall Flat franchise bundle at 60% off. Feel the lifelike simulation of skiing that feels natural and real in Snow Scout, and it's 40% off. But if you're a PlayStation Plus member, you save 5% more, making it 45% off total. Over 120 people have rated it 4.38 out of 5 stars, with 86% of the audience giving this 4 or 5 out of 5. In this exploration adventure on skis, you start on a 1-week stint as a volunteer for the Snow Scouts. Your task is to prepare a small ski resort in the German-speaking Alps for reopening. During your 7-day stint, you're guided by the radio in this remote and majestic mountain wilderness. The lifelike simulation of skiing makes movement through vast landscapes feel natural and real, even in limited VR play spaces. I will be checking out the room scale VR and seeing how that actually plays out. I'm very curious. Cross-country skiing as well as descent runs are featured as competitive events with online leaderboards. Awesome. Communicate with your friendly superior through an innovative communication system. The game offers a full story mode with over 3 hours of recorded narration, 20 ski races, and lots of side tasks to complete. Wow, that sounds awesome. I've never skied before, so I don't have any attachment to skiing, but I am definitely curious in checking this out. And another must-have bundle if you love the environmental puzzle games. This is Red Matter Collection, and it's 30% off. Over 1,600 people have rated this 4.68 out of 5 stars, with 94% of the audience giving this 4 or 5 out of 5. As Agent Epsilon in Red Matter, you'll investigate a top-secret research project on Rhea, one of Saturn's moons. Decipher hidden messages and mechanisms using an array of high-tech tools in a surreal, high-detail, brutalist environment. But beware, the truth you uncover may be darker than you ever imagined. And I have to say, I did just play this again for the first time on the PSVR2, and I felt like the entire game looked much better, and that could have been just because everything was sharp and clean at the 4K HDR OLED display here. But the room scale, me walking around freely, full 360, being able to interact with everything with no tracking issues whatsoever, the adaptive triggers, the controls, everything just felt way better. So yes, even though you might have played this on the PSVR 1 a long time ago, there is a free upgrade for Red Matter 1. I do highly recommend you put it in and play it for a couple more hours, play it all over, and then go play Red Matter 2. In Red Matter 2, you'll play as Sasha, an agent awakened in a lunar base by an undercover operative and tasked with uncovering the secrets of the mysterious Red Matter. Follow a trail left behind by someone from Sasha's past, and be prepared for mind-bending puzzles, stealth and platforming mechanics, and intense combat sections. Quite simply, this game has blown me away technically speaking, and has set the bar for what I expect a PSVR2 game can look and play like. And I am happy to report I've just completed it, and every moment in Red Matter 2 is utterly jaw-dropping. Just as a heads up, the story does kick off right after Red Matter 1, and I highly recommend you play that one first. And even though this trailer does show some action sequences, it's really about 5% of the game, and a few have commented in the past that they felt bored playing it. So I do have to manage expectations here, there. Personally, I had a blast with this entire game and have to remind everyone that this really is an environmental puzzle-based game. So I don't even want to tell you anything about the story. It did make a lot of sense to me, part 1, and now it's making a lot more sense as I'm playing just the first hour of the game. I cannot get over just walking around ever so slowly using my full body to turn in room scale VR, and everything just feels absolutely smooth and seamless. Like movement based on controller. Yes, this is what you do want for room scale VR. Otherwise, if you go by head, when you're moving forward and you turn your head, all of a sudden your guy's going to walk that way. It's not realistic. You want it on controller for every game. Now, just to point this out as a room scale walking example, if I move forward and keep my arms still straight, that's how I can still move forward and look around. The moment I turn my arm with my head while pressing forward, that's what's turning me. It just feels like a next-gen experience, and you don't want to go back after that. You know, not using a right stick to turn at all. We don't do that in real life, you know what I'm saying? It's just natural to walk and look around. Wow. That's the hardest thing, guys. You really can't show people what this headset can do until they put it on. And again, you can talk about it all you want, but even myself, who's owned this for almost 2 years now, I still get blown away. Command an elite squad of mechs in this alternate World War II real-time tactics roguelite in Grit and Valor 1949. And for the first time ever, it's 25% off. But if you're a PlayStation Plus member, you save 5% more, making it 30% off total. Only 80 people have rated this so far, 3.71 out of 5 stars, with 66% giving this 4 or 5 out of 5, but 20% did give this 1 star. It's 1949 and World War II rages on as you lead your brave squad of resistant mech pilots against the evil Axis forces and turn the tide of World War II in this alternate history setting. Your mission is to escort a command vehicle across Europe and into the heart of New Germany. There, the vehicle will deploy its cargo, an EMP designed to destroy Machine Tower, the enemy's central headquarters. Each new region and battlefield you enter presents a new challenge with unique combinations of enemy waves and terrain. Think fast to move and position your mechs to withstand the assault while defending your command vehicle. The use of terrain and other tactical advantages will be absolutely critical to completing your mission objectives. You will also have the freedom to customize and configure your squad of mechs and pilots to adapt your tactics for each new mission. Earn Valor to level up your pilot's unique abilities, and Scrap to upgrade your mechs in order to gain the advantage on the battlefield. Very interesting. Anyone out there, if you own this, played it, loved it, or hate it, please let us know if we should grab this at that sale price. And the other most amazing multiplayer game everyone else needs to get. This is After the Fall Deluxe Edition, and it's 64% off. Over 1,300 people have rated this, 3.95 out of 5 stars, with 72% of the audience giving this 4 or 5 out of 5. And with the Deluxe Edition, you are getting the exclusive PSVR2 skin, the official soundtrack, and the digital art book. Right when loading the game, I was taken back knowing this is a PSVR 1 game, but they did just upgrade the whole thing, and it does look like a hybrid of PSVR 1 and PSVR 2 graphics. Like, it's got that clarity with this dynamic lighting and all these particle effects, and it looks really good. I mean, like, really good. If you didn't know, this game actually does have a free upgrade, so if you did buy this back in the day, man, you are going to want to pop this in and play this again for sure. Unlike the PSVR 1, this does include the PSVR2 Sense haptics. You do feel that difference. Even when I'm rolling over an icon to selecting an object, I do feel that special haptic sensation. The adaptive triggers immediately noticeable, even with the guns to using a light gun on an arcade display cabinet there. The headset haptics, were immediately evident when I got hit in the head. The touch sensitivity was there right when I loaded the game. I could see all my fingers curling. The only one that didn't was the actual trigger finger. That's it. But I mean, come on. And as I'm sitting there getting a feel for the lobby, I'm hearing the music and I'm like, wow, this reminds me of Stranger Things. And then it dawns on me that this tech all around me is from the 80s. What a wicked aesthetic to everything. And then the soundtrack. So it is like the apocalypse happened in the late 80s or early 90s, and all that tech is still remaining there as you're exploring everything. I totally dig how they incorporated the lobby within the game instead of me feeling like I'm jumping into a multiplayer mode. The game just has me in the lobby, but it doesn't feel like a lobby, if that makes sense. Again, what I didn't expect is, aside from the fun factor of playing the game, I got to play with 3 AI friends. I didn't want to jump in with anybody because I didn't want to screw with their game. Got a feel for everything, and the run itself, just what they call a harvest run. You're going out and you're trying to defeat as many zombies as possible, get as many points by defeating them. You see these little glowing orbs, roll over, just simply simply walk over it, collect it. After you've done a section of the game, you get to a safe house where you can recharge, use some of that currency you earned to buy boosters or health or whatever, but you're trying to keep as much of that as possible, so when you're done like 3 sections of that run, you return home and then you can upgrade your weapons to either new guns or new add-ons to the guns. And that whole section in that lobby is awesome, where you go in and you adjust your gun. Again, the whole theme, the whole aesthetic really did take me back. I wasn't expecting it to be so well done. But that free upgrade is only available to anyone that purchased this game before the launch of the PSVR2. So if you do have the disc version on PS4, you can contact Vertigo directly, show them a proof of purchase, and they will honor it and give you that free digital upgrade. But yeah, unfortunately, anyone that did buy this after the launch of the PSVR2, they will not honor it. It's only for those that did own this before the PSVR2 launch, just as a heads up. Matrix. That's cool. That's totally, yeah, easier in there. That's awesome. And the next most awesome arcade experience I can highly recommend at full price is Crisis Brigade 2 Reloaded, and it's 25% off right now. Over 670 people rated it 4.16 out of 5 stars, with 80% of the audience giving it 4 or 5 out of 5. And I can totally speak to this. I do think not everyone will enjoy this game because you do have to stand up the entire time and physically crouch around your environment. And that's what I love about this game, is it actually has you taking cover at all times, and you don't use a left stick to move anywhere or a right stick to turn around. So immersively awesome, it really is. And unlike a lot of games out there, it does not give you the option to include a crouch button, which I love. I personally think that's what makes this game amazing, is you actually having to stand and take cover physically at all times. Amazing, it really is. There are multiple levels to go through with multiple scenes in each level, and then after you go through those 3 campaign levels, there's like this time attack mode with 3 other levels in there, and they're all different. I truly cannot recommend this game enough, especially whenever it goes on sale. So I can already recommend this at full price. I think it's an absolute blast, but definitely want to say you do need to get this on sale for sure.
Let's find out what you're made of.
Step into the ring and immerse yourself in the pulse-pounding excitement of cinematic boxing with Creed Rise to Glory Championship Edition, and it's 60% off, which is actually cheaper than paying that upgrade fee if you own this on the PSVR 1. Over 1,900 people have rated it 3.85 out of 5 stars, with 70% giving it 4 or 5 out of 5, but 15% did give this 1 star. For me on the PSVR 1, it was incredible to play anything like that, to be able to stand on the spot, duck, dodge, weave, punch, uppercut, and hit with accuracy. Actually get a full-fledged workout just being in the gym, not even boxing somebody online. The one takeaway I really disliked about the first one is you did have to use your hands like a speed bag to go forward and to go backwards. And I understand you didn't have any joysticks on the PSVR 1 to do that, so it was intuitive at the time. The fact that I can use these joysticks now moving backwards and still blocking and throwing punches, man, that sounds amazing. And to think this is 4K HDR OLED display, there is a substantial upgrade to this game. And for those of you that didn't know what this game was about, you literally are playing Creed from the movies and you're training with Rocky Balboa, literally having these training exercises in the gym, legit awesome exercises, and then based on your performance on your training, you'll have more stamina going into your next boxing fight. So it's not just sake of doing these practice runs, it's forcing you to do really well in your practice so you're actually better in your boxing match altogether, which is an awesome mechanic. Seriously, very cool. And it tires you out before you go to face the character next time, so it's crazy. It gets you to actually slow down. And unlike the PSVR 1, again, this does have cross-platform support, which is integral to, to have somebody to fight online. That was one of the big problems on PSVR 1. In order for me to get that platinum, I needed to beat somebody online, and it ended up being my wife. Infinite Inside has you explore a serene and mysterious world, collect shards, solve intricate puzzles, and assemble keys to unlock the mysteries of a secret society. It's currently 30% off, but if you're a PlayStation Plus member, you save 5% more, making it 35% off total. Over 100 people have rated it 4.04 out of 5 stars, with 72% giving this 4 or 5 out of 5. When the ancient artifact known as the plinth mysteriously materializes in your home, it opens a portal to a tranquil, dreamlike world filled with impossible architecture and hidden secrets waiting to be discovered. Guided by the echoes of past explorers, you will collect shards, solve 3-dimensional puzzles, and assemble keys to unlock the mysteries of a secret society committed to maintaining the balance of order and chaos. Can you solve the puzzles and reveal the truth about the society, the legacy of the plinth, and ultimately your own place in this mystical world? Escape into 5 peaceful and soothing labyrinths filled with mysteries, and engage with a deep and captivating story embedded in the world. Tackle mind-bending geometric puzzles at your own pace with intuitive controls, and immerse yourself in rich, captivating audio and music, deepening your connection with the world. bend and twist reality in this VR puzzle adventure, A Fisherman's Tale. And it's 67% off. Over 750 people rated it 4.39 out of 5 stars, with 87% of the audience giving this 4 or 5 out of 5. And yes, back in the day, I have not played it on PSVR 2. It was a lot of fun on PSVR 1. It was a Russian doll-based environmental puzzle game where you're seeing yourself in the micro and macro version and having to work with yourself to solve the puzzles. So very cool concept back in the day. Loved it. I do believe this would be just as fun, if not look much better, on the PSVR 2, and the tracking. You can use your whole body to turn. That's probably going to work, I would assume. But I don't know if I can recommend anyone getting it nowadays with all the different games going on, even during this sale. But if you want this and the latest game released on the PSVR 2, they currently have the Fisherman's Tales Bundle. And it's 67% off. And with this bundle, you are getting A Fisherman's Tale and A Fisherman's Tale 2. And with the sequel, over 280 people rated it 4.1 out of 5 stars, with 77% of the audience giving it 4 or 5 out of 5. And what makes this one unique is that you solve puzzles using your own body, detaching and controlling your limbs, and finding new attachments to progress throughout the game.
No, get out!
And the next narrative adventure is called The Last Worker, and it's 60% off. But if you're a PlayStation Plus member, you save 20% more, making it 80% off total. Over 130 people have rated it 3.53 out of 5 stars, with 55% giving it 4 or 5 out of 5, and the rest is completely mixed there. The Last Worker is an immersive narrative adventure centered around a lone worker's last stand in an increasingly automated world. This is a unique blend of work simulation and stealth strategic gameplay. You play as Kurt, and you work for the world's largest retailer and is forced to choose between capitalism or activism. Having dedicated his life to work, Kurt's loyalty is put to the test when a group of activists ask him to dismantle Jungle from the inside. Aboard his corporate-issued flying jungle pod and armed with his multi-purpose jungle gun, Kurt dispatches countless products from a fulfillment center the size of the sunken city of Manhattan. This delivers an emotional, thought-provoking, and inspiring story with rich characters performed by an all-star cast. And this game is all about player choice, with multiple endings decided by an epic moral dilemma. Very cool. But if you want to get The Last Worker and Arcade Paradise VR bundled together, it's currently 60% off. Over 570 people have rated it 3.96 out of 5 stars, with 71% giving this 4 or 5 out of 5, but 15% did give this 1 star. That said, if you're a PlayStation Plus Premium or Deluxe member, do not buy this game, as it's already a part of your catalog. In this game, you play as Ashley, who's a rebel teenager going against her father's wishes to continue the family business. Get hands-on, managing the fully gamified day-to-day tasks, from manually picking up gum, doing the laundry, to throwing out the trash in a basketball-style minigame. That's cool, if the physics are there. Then take your hard-earned money from completing these tasks to unlock your real objective, buying more arcade units. And yes, the whole premise right away instantly grabs me. It does claim to feature 12 fully realized VR cabinets alongside 27 traditionally controlled games from the original release. Yeah, apparently there's 39 cabinets you can purchase in-game. And what's uniquely cool is that it says each cabinet features its own gameplay, stories, missions, and high scores to set with competition online leaderboards. From full RPG campaigns, beat-em-ups, and physical sports games, all inspired by 3 decades of gaming. And only a couple months ago, the developers just announced 2 new VR cabinets for free in their latest update. The first one is called Cyber Drums, which looks like a cheesy drums rock ripoff, which is actually a ripoff of Rock Band. But if the gameplay is fun and the songs are good and everything works, then that is super cool that they included it, as it totally looks appropriate for its time. And the second one I'm showing you here is Super Woodgal Jr. Ultra X Hyper Deluxe. What that title totally reminds me of all the many versions of Street Fighter back in the day. And in this game, you're literally a lumberjill, simply whacking either the left or right side of the arcade cabinet with those padded mallets, trying to get the fastest high score possible. That said, the game has been on sale a few times now, and one of our community members, Bob, has been kind enough to share his experience in detail for someone who owns both versions of the game. And he says that you cannot use your save file from the flat screen version of Arcade Paradise and carry it over to the VR version. So gotta hammer that in, guys. These are 2 separate games that do not use the same save file. So thanks, Bob, for the heads up on that. I really appreciate it. I much appreciate Mystery D piping in and letting us know that Arcade Paradise VR still has many bugs, and that they just completed the game with many issues still persisting, such as daily tasks that can't be completed being the worst offender. And thanks, Tom, for letting us know you enjoy getting the platinum and that you don't have to do the chores to earn money, as you can't fail. Just complete cabinet challenges, as it pays off better in the long run. Awesome. However, you have another option where you can get The Last Worker and Dig VR bundled together at 60% off. Only 84 people have rated Dig VR 4.46 out of 5 stars, with 86% giving it 4 or 5 out of 5. Dig VR captures the sheer joy, adrenaline, and frustrations of life on a digger in an exciting experience for novice and pros. Grow your business in the charming town of Diglington, a place where everything can be fixed by the power of a digger. Take on a variety of jobs for the town's residents, from traditional construction jobs to more obscure requests. Accompanying you is a Dig FM, a dedicated radio station with a wide selection of music to brighten any day. Progress from micro-sized to colossal diggers with a diverse set of attachments to overcome any challenge. Dig in style by unlocking over 70 customization options to suit your aesthetic. Get hands-on with the fast-paced minigames or unwind in the sandbox mode. Then discover a trove of lost treasure in a standalone mode where new items are added regularly. And yet you have another option where you can get Arcade Paradise VR bundled with Dig VR at 60% off. But the last option available has Arcade Paradise VR bundled together with Tin Hearts at 60% off. That said, if you're a PlayStation Plus Extra, Premium, or Deluxe member, do not buy this game as it's already a part of your catalog. Over 640 people rated Tin Hearts 3.07 out of 5 stars, with just under half the audience giving this 4 or 5 out of 5, but just over a third of them did give this 1 star. I have not played this game before, but I do believe that low rating has to do with the actual style of the game. So if you did not know, again, Lemmings is all about giving directions to a bunch of soldiers essentially that you're seeing on screen and directing them to these locations, and they're trying to make their way from point A in the room to point B using whatever is around in their environment. Now, unlike Lemmings, this is supposed to have a captivating and emotional story of a genius inventor, Albert Butterworth, whilst guiding a troop of tin soldiers to reach their goal. And apparently it's critically acclaimed for its moving narrative, refined puzzle design, and immersive atmosphere. Tin Hearts is a narrative puzzle adventure where the ghosts of the past emerge to tell a resonating tale of family, love, and compromise. Spanning across 4 distinct acts with 50 plus puzzles masterfully woven through a grand Victorian home, steadily uncover a variety of whimsical inventions with unique abilities to provide a safe route of passage for the tin soldiers to travel. Each location has an abundance of treasured memories, whilst there are some that would rather be forgotten. In a tragic fable, which will see Albert, overwhelmed by sorrow and heartache, discover what brilliant minds do when the love for life and the love for invention are threatened by life itself. Interesting. You're gonna set out on an immersive adventure through 50 plus Lemmings-like puzzles which consistently evolve as you progress. Uncover new routes to your destination each time you play, with multiple ways to solve the intricate puzzles. Take your time working through the relaxing puzzles while indulging in the soundtrack from award-winning composer Matthew Chastney, whose credits includes trailers for Joker, Chernobyl, and Bridgerton. No way, that's awesome. So again, the game seems like it has a lot going for it, but this is not for everybody. If you didn't know that it was a Lemmings-like puzzle-based game, then yes, you might be thrown off by what you're playing here. The evolution of Brick Breaker games is here in Rebeloid VR, and for the first time ever, it's 50% off. But if you're a PlayStation Plus member, you save 25% more, making it 75% off total. Only 31 people have rated it so far, 3.9 out of 5 stars, with 74% of the audience giving this 4 or 5 out of 5. And the PlayStation Store description simply says, embark on a journey into space with Rebeloid VR, which reintroduces the classic block-breaking frenzy reminiscent of timeless games like DX Ball and Arkanoid, but now in cutting-edge VR technology. And if you're as old as I am and grew up playing the many variations of Arkanoid, you'll totally know what to expect here. But I still highly recommend you check out Cusman's gameplay footage of his first impressions with the game so you can see what it actually looks and sounds like. Again, thanks so much Cusman for providing this footage and checking out the other games that most of us aren't even aware of. Very much appreciated. A new mysterious enemy threatens to tear apart the universe, and only you can stop them in Doctor Who: The Edge of Time, and it's 35% off. But if you're a PlayStation Plus member, you save 5% more, making it 40% off total. Over 160 people rated it 3.77 out of 5 stars, with 66% giving this 4 or 5 out of 5, but 12% did give this 2 stars. And because I have not watched any episodes of Doctor Who, I cannot speak to any of this stuff, but the PlayStation Store description does say, a new mysterious enemy threatens to tear apart the universe, and only you can stop them. Players will solve mind-bending puzzles, grapple with iconic monsters, and encounter new horizons and a quest to find the Doctor and defeat a powerful force that threatens to destroy the fabric of reality. That's a mouthful. You get to pilot the TARDIS, team up with the Doctor, and travel through space and time to new horizons. Experience the world of Doctor Who like never before and interact with tools such as the sonic screwdriver. I'm guessing that's a thing in the TV series. This is actually voice acted by the 13th Doctor herself, played by Jodie Whittaker, and it also includes authentic music, props, sets, title sequence, and Doctor Who Easter eggs. Right on. Stand against iconic baddies including the infamous Deluxe, and even come face to face with brand new, never before seen monsters. Includes Time Lord Victorious, where you get to explore the 10th Doctor's TARDIS and hunt for 8 new Doctor Who collectibles. But for all of you that totally love the Doctor Who, they are offering the Maze Theory Doctor Who bundle at 35% off. But if you're a PlayStation Plus member, you save 5% more, making it 40% off total. So it does include that PSVR2 game, Doctor Who Edge of Time, but as well 2 PS4 flat screen games. So I'm just showing you what they offer. I only recommend the PSVR2 game that they have on sale. But again, I'm not a fan of the show. I've never watched any of this stuff. For those of you that do love it, you might want it all. That said, if you love the Guitar Hero and want that in VR, Unplugged Air Guitar is currently 60% off right now. Almost 400 people have rated it 3.41 out of 5 stars, with over half of the audience giving this 4 or 5 out of 5. And I do have to say from experience, I did buy this on sale at like 40% off at the time. I did not expect anything from it, and just like Guitar Hero Rock Band, this game is extremely simple, but unlike those 2 other games, you only have 2 buttons on your left hand, and you have your trigger finger on your right hand as your pick. When you're using your left hand, that index finger, your trigger finger, is that tiny little bar, and you do have to hold it and keep it in that position. When you move your guitar up, that whole thing moves with you. So it is actually all about precision and keeping that spot right there. So that does feel really good. And that middle finger is the 3 fingers that you're seeing there, that giant bar. And when you see that index finger and that middle finger change colors, all that is it's telling you to turn your wrist this way, and then you're hitting that index finger or middle. That's it. But do that while you're trying to keep your finger in that exact same position and then combining your 2 fingers at the same time. I found what was really weird, is that when you're holding your pick with your trigger finger, I play guitar in real life, it doesn't feel natural. You know, there's this giant gap in between my thumb and my index finger. So what I found worked really well, just saying, hold your controller down here and I pinch my fingers here or here like this. I'm not touching that middle finger button, I'm just holding the controller. In game, it shows my hand is open. However, when I'm strumming, it's connecting to the strings, everything's working. That was a game-changing experience for me to hold the controller that way versus squeezing that pick. That trigger finger just felt super thick, like I'm holding an eraser or something as I'm trying to play guitar. Very weird. The moment I did that, all of a sudden my scores just instantly increased, and I gotta say, out of the 2 songs, I've scored number 7 in the world. And I have to say this every time, when you play these rhythm-based music games, when you play on the harder levels, the hard and the experts, it is actually easier because you're hitting note for note. I do find when you're playing on the easier settings, you're waiting to hit the actual beat when you're already hearing it. You know the song, so it actually stifles you, if that's the best way to describe it. But do start on the easy or normal just to get a feel for it. But I highly encourage you, do push yourself right away, because you'll find that you'll hit those notes a lot faster and it'll feel far more natural. Jam out to 45 plus rock hits in 4 difficulty modes. And I'm showing you a list of songs that are included with this game. Again, this is just a handful of stuff, so when I jumped into it, I didn't expect these very popular licensed songs to be in there. So again, right away, I instantly got hooked, hearing the songs I'm familiar with and then playing to them.
And to take advantage of this unique research opportunity.
Trapped in a dying spaceship filled with horrors, you must explore, survive, and find your way back to Earth in Cosmodread. and it's 35% off. But if you're a PlayStation Plus member, you save 5% more, making it 40% off total. 240 people have rated this, 3.85 out of 5 stars, with 68% of the audience giving this 4 or 5 out of 5. Again, years ago, this would have been a lot better compared to other games that are currently available. It did take about 5 or 6 hours to get through the entire game, and it is a roguelike, but as you're going through, you're actually able to keep some of the weapons you were upgrading and crafting before, so each run becomes easier and easier. But really, it is a simple game where you're exploring this deserted spaceship and you have these enemies come at you as you're going through it, just trying to survive with limited resources. So that is the appeal here, but I was expecting more of the searching around, actually grabbing and using items. It had a bit of that, but not much, if that makes sense. As well, there was something really bizarre. I feel like I'm the only one talking about this, so heads up. Right in the beginning of the game, when you load it, the first menu you see, if you just stop and stare straight, you're going to see the screen slowly turns to the right. This does not happen throughout the entire game, and you only notice it if you just stop and stand still for a sec. You don't notice that when you're running around constantly doing stuff. So it does feel like a bare bones crafting, surviving game. A lot of great ratings again years ago, but there are a lot of other better games out there, just saying. Firmament is a puzzle adventure game by the legendary game studio behind the best-selling games Myst and Riven, and it's currently 20% off. But if you're a PlayStation Plus member, you save 10% more, making it 30% off total. Almost 130 people have rated it, 3.83 out of 5 stars, with 68% giving this 4 or 5 out of 5, but 14% did give this 1 star. Featuring deep storytelling and world building, discover the story of the seemingly abandoned world as you explore and unlock the mysteries of 3 unique realms and beyond. Now, this does look and sound awesome as a hybrid flat and VR game, and apparently it is excellent on the flat screen and PC VR, but unfortunately everywhere I'm reading, this game was poorly ported on PSVR2, quite literally suffering from severe aliasing, low resolution, and poor use of reprojection, as it's reported to look muddy and unclear, which is very weird. Also, there is a known bug in the Ice Factory level that makes it impossible to complete the game without very specific, non-obvious actions, and I have no idea what that means as I'm just doing the AI overview on Google there. Again, that said, the flat screen game is supposed to be great, so I am assuming you can play the levels that are bugged out and go back to the VR after. But I've never played this before and I can't speak to it from experience. Anyone out there, again, if you owned it, played it, loved it, or hate it, please let us know if it's been patched since all of those negative reviews. That would be great.
Welcome to the darkness world. Don't be afraid, my friend.
Shoot at everything that moves in Darkness ROLLERCOASTER PSVR2 Remastered Edition, and it's 40% off. But if you're a PlayStation Plus member, you save 20% more, making it 60% off total. Just under 100 people have rated it 3.68 out of 5 stars, with 63% giving it 4 or 5 out of 5, but 17% did give this 2 stars. So I never played the original on PSVR 1, but this is completely redesigned for the PSVR 2 with improved enemy graphics and behavior, more action, more fun, and more speed. Try to beat the global high scores by activating your different powers, such as slowing down time, activating your special vision, or using your shields. But be careful of the traps and obstacles that you'll have to avoid at all times in your cart. What really threw me off is seeing a build your own coaster feature here, where it looks like you can create your own map essentially. That looks awesome. Anyone in the comments section, if you own this since the PSVR 1 days and have played the PSVR 2 version, is this worth buying again? Feel the finesse of your swing, jab, and hooks in Beat the Beats VR, and it's 25% off. Over 640 people have rated it 3.46 out of 5 stars, with 56% giving this 4 or 5 out of 5, but 26% did give this 1 star. Use actual boxing moves like crosses, rolls, and uppercuts to blast your way through a series of electrifying musical levels and climb the leaderboards. Unlock new genres, complete daily challenges, and build your skill in rhythm boxing. For the serious competitor, there's also an extra challenging B-side for each track that'll make you sweat to master. So it does tout to have a lot of replayability, but if you're unsure, you can check out the Beat the Beats VR demo on the PlayStation Store right now. Explore the streets of 1920s Birmingham and London in Peaky Blinders, the King's Ransom Complete Edition, and it's 35% off. But if you're a PlayStation Plus member, you save 5% more, making it 40% off total. Over 300 people have rated it 3.3 out of 5 stars, with over half of the audience giving it 4 or 5 out of 5, but 31% did give this 1 or 2 stars. It's 1928 and you've been fleeing the firing squad for over a decade. Turning to infamous crime boss Tommy Shelby for help, you become embroiled in the hunt for Winston Churchill's Red Box, a briefcase containing the identities of every British agent around the globe. As you've drawn deeper into England's criminal underworld, you find yourself at war once again. Enemy factions are closing in, and they all want the box. For power, for money, and the chance to bring the country to its knees. Keep your wits about you as simmering tensions explode in intense action. Defeat the odds and bring back the box, by order of the Peaky Blinders. Now, the complete edition contains all additional content, including 7 narrative combat missions which take place after the main story. Explore Small Heath and Limehouse in free roam. Take on shooting galleries and combat challenges, and be rewarded with item skins and player customization options. Come face to face with iconic characters from the show, including Tommy Shelby and his hot-headed brother Arthur, both played by Cillian Murphy and Paul Anderson. And of course, this is improved for the PSVR 2, including the enhanced graphics, haptics, and the adaptive triggers. Very cool. The original text-based RPG from the 70s is back in VR in Colossal Cave VR, and it's 20% off. But if you're a PlayStation Plus member, you save 5% more, making it 25% off total. Only 74 people have rated it 3.82 out of 5 stars, with 71% giving this 4 or 5 out of 5, but 26% did give this 1 or 2 stars. Embark on a timeless journey through a sprawling cave system packed with treasures, creatures, mazes, and wits-defying puzzles. The great grandpappy of adventure games will test you and tickle your problem-solving skills as you unearth its plot and secrets. Through cunning trial and error, you will crawl through tight squeezes, encounter impressive caverns, collect inventory, locate treasure, thwart dwarf attacks, all while keeping your eye on the score before your lamp goes out. Very interesting. This groundbreaking game is considered one of the most influential in history, establishing conventions that have become standard in the adventure genre. It has been ported to just about every computer and console, played by millions, and inspired by many other games, books, movies, and TV series. Very interesting. Again, I never played this game growing up, have no attachment to it whatsoever. But for those of you that do and want everything to be able to play this on your PS4, PS5, or PSVR 2, you can get the Colossal Cave Game Bundle, and it's 20% off as well. But if you're a PlayStation Plus member, you save 5% more, making it 25% off total. A relaxing and meditative experience designed to calm your wild mind. Throw Your Phone into the Ocean is currently 70% off. Only 8 people have rated it so far, 3.25 out of 5 stars, with half of them giving it 5 and the other half gave it 1 or 2 stars. On the PlayStation Store, it simply says, experience the thrill of your rebellious acts in a series of beautiful environments. This claims to feature realistic water as the centerpiece around a series of stylized, tranquil environments with none of the environmental hazards of throwing your actual phone into nature. Throw Your Phone is the responsible choice and the ultimate simple satire simulator. Now, arcade mode has a simple scoring system and allows you to get competitive with friends. You're going to toss your phones into a series of objectives as they float down the river, drift by your seascape, or simply play some strange carnival games. And last, Zen mode is the ultimate escape. With no objectives or time limit, take a walk through the palm trees on a moonlit tropical shoreline or witness the northern lights among the pines. Very weird, but I highly recommend you check out Cusman's first impressions as he goes over and shows you what the actual gameplay looks like. I've left a link in my description to that video and highly encourage you check all of Cusman's videos out as he does go over a lot of the games that many of us YouTubers don't cover. Thanks so much, Cusman, very much appreciated. Bocce VR Simulator is quite literally what it says, and it's currently 33% off. But if you're a PlayStation Plus member, you save 5% more, making it 38% off total. Just under 40 people have rated it, 1.87 out of 5 stars, with 80% of the audience giving this 1 or 2 stars. The game claims to bring the classic game of bocce to life in a stunning virtual reality experience. Known and loved by many for its simplicity and fun, bocce is perfect for players of all ages. You just start off, one person throws this Polino ball, it's a tiny white ball, and then wherever that is, you're trying to throw your balls as close as possible to that Polino. And then at the end of the round, the closer balls get the most points, essentially. And when you're playing against with somebody, you can actually knock their ball away from the Polino. So even though your opponent could have thrown an awesome shot to begin with, you can totally knock them out of the area where they don't score anything, and then you take their spot. Very cool. It does include an obstacle mode for added challenge. I'd love to see what that looks like. It does claim to have advanced AI for realistic competition, customizable game point targets, and stunning graphics with immersive gameplay. Whether or not this game actually does what bocce does, I have no idea. Again, anyone in the comment section, if you own the game, please let us know. Does this actually play like bocce in real life? Experience the thrill of driving a powerful American truck in Truck Simulator 25 VR, American Driver, and it's currently 35% off. But if you're a PlayStation Plus member, you save 5% more, making it 40% off total. Over 170 people have rated it 1.53 out of 5 stars, with 81% of the audience giving this 1 star. And I think Brian from Without Parole explains the game best in just a couple minutes while giving you excellent in-game examples. So I gotta leave it to him, as you're seeing his footage right here, and I'm gonna leave a link in the description because I highly encourage you to check it out, because I'm actually quite curious to play this game now. And the next part of the video features 12 DLC packs for puzzling places. Don't forget, you can actually get a free trial of the game if you log into the PlayStation app or the PlayStation Store website. And I'm just going to quickly name each pack on sale and show you as many puzzles as possible within each one. Monthly Pack 1 is 30% off, and it includes 6 new puzzles. Monthly Pack 2 is 30% off, and this has 6 puzzles as well. Monthly Pack 3, Churches of Catalonia, is 30% off, and this includes 4 new puzzles. Promenade in Portugal, pack number 4, is 30% off, and this one includes 6 new puzzles. Monthly pack number 5, the Ukraine pack, is 30% off, including 6 new puzzles as well. Monthly pack number 6 is 30% off, which includes Remarkable Rooms, and this has 4 new puzzles. Monthly pack number 7 is 30% off, and this one includes 6 puzzles. Monthly pack number 8, Antique Treasures, is 30% off, and this one includes 6 puzzles. Monthly pack number 9, Greece, is 30% off, and this one includes 6 puzzles. Monthly pack number 10 is 30% off, including 6 puzzles. Monthly pack number 11, Skogaholm Manor, is 30% off, and this one includes 6 puzzles. Monthly pack number 12 is a variety pack, and it's 30% off, including 6 puzzles. And the last DLC on sale is for Walkabout Mini Golf, and this course is in the theme of Halloween. This is Widow's Walkabout, and it's 25% off. And what's really cool is that every course already features a night theme to play on, and this course appears to have the classic black and white theme for this level. Very cool. Wow. Seriously, wow. Probably the best hands I've seen yet in VR. Amazing. And that is all of the games and DLC for PlayStation's Planet of the Discount sale ending Wednesday, November 5th. However, do be sure to check out the other Halloween sale that includes 8 big games, and it ends at the exact same time. That said, if you want to see more content like this, don't forget to hit that like, hype, and or subscribe button to help spread the word and get even more people playing the future of console gaming, which of course is PlayStation.